Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for a very special Braturday, see what I did there? Edition of Brat Said That, episode 7. I'm excited. I was supposed to go on Wednesday or Tuesday or another day, but, have to be a grown-up and make money, pay bills. But we're here now, Saturday. Love Saturdays. It's like my favorite day of the week. Saturday is a good day. As always, we have to start the show with cracking open a nice cold. Oh, that sound. There ain't nothing better. Coke Zero in the Champion Cups. Hope everybody had a good week. We have a lot to talk about. I'm not going to go an hour like I did on Monday. That was awesome. I'm getting pretty okay at this show. But let's take a sip. I got the UNLV game on behind me, and we're going to dive right in. As always, we open up the show inside the squared circle. WWE, man, SmackDown. Let's go backwards. SmackDown last night. Ilya Dragunov returns from injury. We haven't seen him in months. Answers Sami Zayn's open challenge after The Miz and Carmella Hayes went at it. Becomes the WWE United States Champion. Wow. I knew everybody was excited for him to come back. Is he going to come back and face Gunther? But no. He came back. He answered Sami Zayn's challenge and is the new United States Champion. Clap for him. That was awesome. Other thing, I didn't watch SmackDown because I didn't watch SmackDown, but I saw Cody Rhodes coming out. I know Jacob Fatu is hurt. Who took out Jacob Fatu? Drew McIntyre. They were scheduled to have a little one-on-one contest, but let's see what happens. Was it what is it? MFT? Is that Jacob Fatu? Oh no, Solo's faction. So that was Ilya Dragunov coming back, win the United States Championship. Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins got taken out by the Vision. Now, is this a legit injury? Or is Seth just kind of work everybody like he always does? Because I can see Seth having the Vision give him a little attack so he doesn't have to face CM Punk. But I read today that Adam Pearce is going to announce his update. So we're going to see what happens with that. I just want to make sure I'm going to go live right here on the Facebook. So I think this is the only way I can see comments. We got a lot to talk about. A lot's happened in the last few days. Halloween Havoc is next week. I got the rundown of the events. Ethan Page, who I said I didn't care for in AEW. Now I'm a huge Ethan Page fan. What he's doing with that North American Championship, it's kind of like what Lance Storm did with the WCW United States Championship. He's kind of making it Canadians' own. He's facing El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., and I think that means the son of Dr. Wagner Jr. I've been doing Duolingo to up my Spanish game. I'm at level 9, people. So, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien? That's going to be a Day of the Dead match. Don't know when that's going to happen. Oh, by the way, if you hear a little in the background, the landscaping's happening right now when I'm doing my show. Hey, guys, can you wait till I'm done, please? Okay, not really. Jada Paxley, who is now the number 1 contender, she's going to face JC Jane for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, I heard that JC Jane was injured, so we will see. We will see what happens with that. Ricky Saints, Ricky Saints, the NXT champion. He's going to face Trick Williams in kind of like a rematch. I'm excited for that. I said it many times. Ricky Saints, you give this guy all the amount of money. He is who you want as a top guy. Trick Williams, too. NXT is in a really good spot right now. And then, of course, the Hardy Boys. I've said it many times. Legends versus Dark State NXT Tag Team Championship. I don't see the Hardy Boys losing, but we'll see. I would have loved to do like a watch along or tweet along. I call it tweet alongs, but I got a comedy show I got a comedy show. It's awesome. More information about that. But that is WWE. Nothing really. We'll get more into WWE talk a little bit later. But I have to give my credit. I have to talk about AEW WrestleDream is tonight. It's happening in a few hours. I have the card here. We can go over the card. I can tell you how much I don't know about AEW. There's like 4 preliminary matches. FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood, who was the revival in WWE. There was Stokely Hathaway. I didn't know that because I don't watch AEW. Versus Jet Speed, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. That's a tag team match. Eddie Kingston and Hook. I do like Eddie Kingston and Hook. I'm glad Eddie Kingston came back. It says TBA. I don't know if this is updated, but they're having a tag team match. Those two make really good chemistry together. Harley Cameron and William Nightingale. They're facing Megan Bain and Penelope Ford. I mean, that's cool. I like Willow. I followed her for a lot of years. She's big in the New York wrestling scene. So, of course, coming from there, I know. Roderick Strong, Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Tohiro Ishii, the Conglomerate. What a name. Versus the Death Riders, Claudio, Willa Yuta, Daniel Garcia, and Pac. I love the Death Riders. I might get myself a nice Death Rider shirt. I think that's going to be an awesome match. Orange Cassidy is always entertaining. Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, you know who they are. They've been around forever. The Death Riders with the newish addition with Daniel Garcia. I don't know the storyline of why they're feuding because I don't watch AEW. But that seems like a cool 8-man tag team match. And then we're going to move on to the main card. I don't know if this is, obviously I don't know if this is the lineup, but Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley. We talked about it. Who's going to say I quit? Darby literally, I'm not joking, he literally climbed Mount Everest, okay? And Jon Moxley bleeds when he sneezes. So, what are you going to do? There was like a flamethrower and a Molotov cocktail. Like, one of these dudes is going to have to straight up just murder each other. That's probably going to be the most insane match of the night. That probably not going to be. That is going to be. Hangman Page, Samoa Joe for the AEW Championship. That's cool. I like both these guys. Samoa Joe he's always been top notch. Hangman Adam Page, I think they're not going to take the title off of Hangman just yet. Chris Statlander, Tony Storm in the rematch for the AEW Women's Championship. Like I said, I don't see them taking the title off Chris Statlander that quick. Another one who's a Long Island grown, who I'm very big into. I have a soft spot for the Long Island people. Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, Brian Myers, MJF. If you're from Long Island, you get my attention. I'm a fan favorite. Jack Perry, Luchasaurus, reunited. I like Jack Perry and Luchasaurus, just a boy and his dinosaur. Versus the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, no relation. $500,000 cash prize. That's kind of like old school, like the $100,000 battle royal. Anytime you have money on the line, that's great. And I did see what they're doing with Brandon Cutler, who is rich now. And he's he was a Young Bucks lackey. Now he is, the rich guy who they look up to. That's going to be, I'm excited for that because I know the Young Bucks, they get they're all flippy talk. They all do this. They're still at it, they're not up there with the Hardys in Legacy, but they're just as entertaining. Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe, AEW TNT Championship. That'd be cool. Like I said, Kyle Fletcher, he's on his way up. Mark Briscoe, you've been watching him for decades. Always entertaining. Rest in peace to Jay Briscoe. Then you got, speaking about tag teams, the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Bandito and Brody King, who, like I said, I don't know their tag team lineage, but they're the tag team champions, versus the Don Callis family, Okada and Konsei Takeshita, who is now the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, So congrats to him. I can see some titles going to the Don Callis family. I think Kyle Fletcher is part of it. There's so many titles in AEW. Then you got Jamie Hayter versus Takia. I mean, that's cool. Jamie Hayter, former AEW Women's Champion, versus what? Thekla. Takela. Okay, cool. And then you have the boys, the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, MVP, versus the Demand, Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona. So I have I gotta meet you in the middle. The WWE pay-per-views, 5 matches, they're just not enough. I want to see more people on the card, especially if you're going to have a show on Saturday. Like, you're going to have a big show on Saturday. Don't have, like, a championship match on SmackDown or a championship match on Raw. Just put them together on the show. That's what it should be. But also, AEW, you can talk about how there's a lot of matches. There's 12 matches. I've been to the AEW show when it came out here in Vegas for, was it Double or Nothing? I got free tickets. But, I do have to talk about that too. It was a long night. It was entertaining, but long. And I also think that I just saw that Mercedes Moné is going to issue an open challenge for her TBS championship. I can go on a rant or like a dialogue of how I don't like Mercedes Moné. And when I say like I don't like these wrestlers, it's not like I don't care for them personally. I just don't like their gimmicks. I don't like the whole Ultimo Mercedes. You can win, the microphone USB championship over in Germany. I'm not going to care about it. Win some titles that are relevant. But yeah, that's a card WrestleDream. I don't really see any, AEW has a history of people coming and returning and making big, shocking moments. So, we'll see. I don't give my predictions out, so, enjoy it. I don't know where you can watch AEW, if it's like pay-per-view or if it's on like HBO Max. But that's tonight. Watch it. And I want to talk about it one thing. I'm going to take a sip because I've been talking nonstop for 13 minutes. Oh no. Andrade, okay, so this whole thing with Andrade is kind of weird. Because Andrade was in WWE, left to go to AEW, left to go back to WWE, and now he's in AEW, but now he's absent. It looks like he kind of like broke a non-compete clause in his contract. So I'm going to read what my co-producer, Charles told me. Andrade made a surprise return to AEW and confronted Kenny Omega, but has since disappeared from AEW programming. Reports suggest the reason may be a 90-day non-compete clause from his previous WWE contract. Ooh, I don't know. It also says, allegedly, WWE sent AEW a letter asserting Andrade cannot appear on AEW TV during his non-complete period. This is causing uncertainty about when or whether he can be reintegrated into storylines. That's a big word. That is some corporate business that I don't know anything about. If you have a 90 days compete clause and you get fired, you can't just move on and be like, hey, this isn't like it was with Lex Luger back in 95. You gotta wait your time out, man. 90 days is a long time. That's like 3 months. But I also am hearing a thing that they won't pursue any charges if they let Edge appear for John Cena's last match. I mean, hey, man, like I said, I don't know anything about the corporate world, but do whatever you got to do to have Edge and John Cena just show up once together. That's all you got to do. Just show up once. Like I said, so that's WrestleDream. That's AEW news. I talked more about AEW this week. See, I'm adapting, guys. AEW line wrestler Takeshita captured New Japan's IWGP World Heavyweight title by defeating Zack Sabre Jr. I'm a huge fan of Zack Sabre Jr., his submissions, the way he moves. Not the most, like, entertaining per se on the microphone, but he's entertaining in the ring. This cross-promotion wins boost AEW's visibility and bridges relations with NJPW. Okay. That's cool. So we talked about everything going on in wrestling. Excuse me. We're just going to move into the octagon now. Or the boxing ring. Big news. Chris Weidman is taking on Anderson Silva in a boxing match on November 14th for the Jake Paul Gervonta Davis boxing match. It's going to be a 6-round heavyweight boxing bout. Now, let's take a time machine. We're going back to 2006. Anderson Silva makes his UFC debut, knocks out Chris Lehman in about 45 seconds, moves on, faces Rich Franklin, becomes UFC middleweight champion. He won the championship in 2007, didn't lose it until 2013 when he got knocked out by Long Island's own Chris Weidman. They fought UFC 163. I remember watching it in a very seedy dive bar. I just got to Vegas less than a year in my Vegas tenure. And just seeing him get knocked out, losing his championship. And then they have that rematch in December, and we all remember what happens. He breaks his leg, and Chris Weidman retains. How crazy is that, okay? Chris Weidman faces Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva breaks his leg during a fight. Jump years later, Chris Weidman is facing Uriah Hall, and Chris Weidman breaks his leg during a fight. It's insane. That is karma. Not karma per se, but like ironic, That's kind of, we're going to talk more about the Jake Paul fights in the future episodes. I think they're all fugazi. I don't, like the whole Mike Tyson thing and Mike Tyson took us. Oh man, we'll talk more about the Jake Paul fights and the Logan Paul fights. Oh, this stuff is so good. You got to talk about a little sad news. Duke Rufus, he was the main trainer for Anthony Pettis for many, 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 many years. Sergio Pettis, he also trained CM Punk for his UFC fights. Passed away last night. I think it said he was 55. It's so sad. So sad to see somebody just lose somebody like that. My heart goes out to everybody who associated Rufus Sport in Milwaukee. That's the coolest name I've ever heard. He brought Anthony Pettis to the lightweight championship in WC, and then UFC, and then Sergio Pettis. Sad. It's sad. My heart goes out to him and his family. Also, too, the legendary boxer Ricky Hatton. He he died last month, and we just found out that it was by suicide. And I feel for anybody that, suicide, and he hung himself or hanged himself. That's sad. We just lost Ace Frehley too 2 days ago. Man, it just if I can get like a little emotional, growing up, you realize you fall in love with more things when you grow up, and you get attached to more people, you get attached to more things in life, and then, people get older. When you're young, these people that are old are old, and now that you're older, the people that were old when you were young are now older. Repeat that, okay, subtitles? So my heart goes out to Ricky Hatton's family, Duke Rufus' family, Ace Frehley's family. I'm not a big fan of Kiss. I met Gene Simmons a few times, but man, it's sad. But I do want to move on. Let's get it going. Let's get the motivation going. Let's get the happiness, all peace and love, baby. Good vibes only. A couple of big news. I can't wait. Next week. Oh man, I'm gonna miss that too. Oh, I might be home in time for that actually. UFC 321. Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. UFC 321. I just said that. Next week, October 25th in Abu Dhabi for the UFC Heavyweight Championship. I'm excited for that. Tom Aspinall, as you know, has been clapping at the bits to face John Jones, but John Jones does what John Jones does, and he just said, nope, I'm ducking you, bro, and I'm out of here. He retired. So Tom Aspinall is promoted to the undisputed, no dispute, heavyweight champion, and he's going to defend it against Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane, as we know, he's got kind of like an up and down record, you know. He faced Francis. That fight didn't go so well. He beat Derek Lewis, I remember. Then he lost to John Jones. He's won a few fights to get this opportunity. So we'll see. I will have my predictions for that next week. And we did talk about Merab fighting 4 defenses in a year. Also, Alexander Pantoja, the flyweight championship, is on the line against Joshua Van. December 6th, in the same card as Merab. That was funny how they didn't announce the fight yet, and last week during one of the fights, I guess Pantoja's teammate was like, hey, I hear that Pantoja's going to fight December 6th. I want to be on that card. And we're all like, oh, I guess it's confirmed now. So that's funny. Tonight, though, just like usually every weekend, there's UFC. Renee the Riddler versus Brandon Allen. Renee's 4-0 in the UFC. He is probably going to be a number 1 contender for Chimaev. He is the middleweight champion. So we'll see. He last won over Robert Whittaker a few weeks. It wasn't even that long ago. It was like 2 months ago. It was like a split decision. I think the Riddler is, what is that word? Stepping in, late notice. Brandon Allen, his opponent, 2 losses, but he's 8 for 10. 8 out of the last 10. That's going to be a good fight. I see the Riddler winning. I don't know. Let me get the other card, see who else is on this card. But yeah, they're going to be in Canada. The good old Canadians upstairs. Let's see. I think they're going to be in Vancouver, which is a place I would always love to go. I've never been in Vancouver. Heck, I've never even been in the Pacific Northwest. Yes, Vancouver, British Columbia. Let's see who else is fighting on the card. Kevin Holland, Mike Morlott, Marlon Vera, former title challenger. Matt Frivola, I think he's from Long Island too, right? Where is he from? Yeah, he's from Huntington. So go Matt, and he's got a great first name. Nothing really, these ESPN Plus cards, just have a weekend card to just have a fight. So enjoy the fights tonight. I won't be watching them because I have to do that thing called working. But speaking about working, we're gonna look at that transition. We're gonna talk about should I bring out the broom? Milwaukee, come on Milwaukee. I had you going to the World Series and you couldn't get it done. But I understand now. The Dodgers, they swept Milwaukee. Shohei Ohtani swept the Milwaukee Brewers. Shohei Ohtani delivered what many are called the greatest single-game performance in MLB postseason history. I don't even want to say postseason. I just want to say history. He hit 3 home runs and pitched 6 scoreless innings with 10 strikeouts to lead the Los Angeles Dodgers to a sweep and return to the World Series once again. Wow. Just mouth. Wow. That I can go play MLB The Show, make my guy 99 overall, and he wouldn't do what Ohtani did last night. That is absolutely insane. The Dodgers going. Okay, so obviously it's too early to call Ohtani the greatest of all time, but do you give him his plaque right now? Does he even have to go out with his career, or do you just put him in the Hall of Fame right now? What he did last night, oh my God. But on the other side, it's getting close, folks. We said Seattle and Milwaukee are going to the World Series. Milwaukee couldn't get it done, but Seattle is up 3-2 over Toronto, back and forth games. Seattle won the first 2 games. Then the Blue Jays was like, nah, folks, we got to tie it up. Then Seattle won again last night. I think they play tomorrow. If Seattle can end it tomorrow, we'll have at least half right. We said Seattle was going to win the whole thing, so we'll see. Now, does Seattle possibly facing the Dodgers change what I think? No. I think Seattle is still the better team. But how crazy is that? MVP caliber Cal Raleigh versus NL caliber MVP Shohei Ohtani. Hey, that would be a World Series to watch. And that would be Seattle's first World Series. And plus, I like Toronto. I'm a big fan of Canada, I don't want to, I would rather the I would rather want Seattle to move on. But hey, that'd be a heck of a flight too. Toronto, Los Angeles, because Los Angeles, Seattle, that's like right here. Yeah, that's a flight. But the World Series starts October 24th. We'll talk more about that next week or Monday. We'll be back on Monday. So we talked about MMA, we talked about UFC, MMA, boxing, football. Week 7, Chad LGBT. His pics are on Twitter and my Instagram. So if you're not following me, I have over 100 followers on Twitter. I'm building up this brand, kids. Go check it out. Henny's poll is on my Instagram. Should the tush push be banned? What do you think? Is it a good play or is it a bad play? The only game we had this week so far is, I love it, they call it the Icy Hot Bowl. Joe Flacco versus Aaron Rodgers. The Bengals versus the Steelers. Thursday night. The Bengals came off with a win, 33-30. Wow. The Icy Hot Bowl is one of the greatest names I've ever heard. But we do have to say goodbye to Brian Callahan from the Tennessee Titans. He is fired after a 1-5 start, 4-19 overall. The first one to hit the dust in the 2025 NFL season. Yeah, man, you can't go 1-5 with a team that has a number 1 draft pick. 4-19 overall. That's no bueno. See, my Spanish. That's no bueno. But yeah, tomorrow in football, any games that really stand out to me, I will go see the NFL. See, Chad, I told you not to have this. Every time I go to Google, it always goes to Yahoo. And come on, who uses Yahoo nowadays, By the way, don't forget my email for my comedy is bratjacksoncomedy@yahoo.com. Tomorrow's games, you want to wake up with the Jaguars versus the Rams, 6:30 a.m. over in London. Patriots might get another win against the Titans that we just saw. Raiders and Chiefs, that's a loss for the Raiders. Giants and the Broncos, speaking about who just walked into the room, could be a tough game for the Broncos, I'll be honest. Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterboo, they had that big win against the Eagles, so they're going to ride that momentum. Buccaneers and Lions, this could be a good game right here. I love Baker Mayfield. 5-1 Buccaneers, 4-2 Lions. Could very well be an NFC Championship game. Let's not jump ahead to the end of the season. But other than that, I don't see any games that really stick out. Like Commanders and Cowboys. Any loss the Cowboys have is good for me. So go Commanders. We gotta talk about them. They won the Bratwurst week 3. The Jets are facing the Panthers. Shout out to the Panthers, 3-3. They were historically a bad football team. Not historically, but recently, I see them beating the Jets. Jets going 0-7. Goddamn Jets. What that kid say? A little, what was it, Big Daddy? Goddamn Jets or something. But Bears and Saints. Colts and Chargers, that's a good game. What are they? Colts are 5-1. Oh my God. Chargers are 4-2. That might be an AFC Championship game. Other than that, I don't really see anything that sticks out. Monday Night Football. Oh, Buccaneers and Lions on Monday. Ooh, that'd be nice. Week 7, guys. This is really starting to be the middle of the season. Like they say, wins and losses matter now more than ever. I mean, wins and losses always matter. But, hey, the New Orleans Saints 1-5. Okay, congrats on the draft pick next year. But that's football. You know, football, I can't wait till the playoffs, the postseason. We do got to move on to the NHL. There was a little controversy to do with the Vegas Golden Knights, and I won't really talk about this, but since we're a Vegas local team, I do have to talk about it. They signed Carter Hart, and I have it here. After being acquitted in a high-profile case, goaltender Carter Hart has been signed by the Vegas Golden Knights. However, he and several others from the 2018 Canadian World Junior Squad cannot play in NHL games until December 1st due to reinstatement conditions set by the league. Wow. Now, that is something, okay? That is something. I mean, why would you sign this kid? Is he that good? That seems to have a lot of baggage that Vegas doesn't need. No, wow. So we'll see. You know, I don't know the case too much. I can always say everybody deserves a second chance, but he was acquitted, and as a criminal justice major, acquitted means free someone from a criminal charge by verdict of not guilty. So he wasn't found guilty. So we'll see what happens. Speaking about the complete opposite of somebody who is not making his NHL career debut, Alex Ovechkin, he's going for 900 goals. Wow. As a Penguins fan, Ovechkin was always like Sidney Crosby's, like Lex Luthor, you know. Shout out to him being the all-time record in goals. But yeah, 900 goals. Nobody's ever done that before. So we'll see. I think he's at 898. So, hey, Ovechkin, do your thing. Hall of Famer. Boo you for beating the Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup in 2018. But cheers to a legendary career. I would still pick Sidney Crosby over you. Excuse me. So that's hockey. You know, hockey's getting going. NBA starts next week. I do want to talk about, on Wednesday, I went to T-Mobile Arena, and we watched with my buddy Terrell. We watched the Lakers take on the Mavericks. Two things I do want to point out. Stop with the parking fees, okay? I don't need to pay $40 to park here, okay? I get it, but still, $40 is a lot of money. And T-Mobile Arena, thank you. I tweeted out that I was at T-Mobile Arena, and you liked my post. But, man, it was cold in there. I was freezing. I'm a big dude, and I was wearing a jacket. Turn the heat up a little bit. But, yeah, it was fun. The Mavericks played their starters. Clay, Cooper, P.J. Washington. Lakers didn't have any starters. LeBron wasn't there. Luka was there, trader. It was good to see Luka. But they didn't start their starters. Mavericks were losing bigly. Oh, I don't want to say bigly. They were losing by a lot. And then they came back to win. It's preseason. It doesn't really matter. But they look good. They look good. The Mavericks look good. I wanted to see the greatest basketball player of all time. But apparently Bronny wasn't there. Neither was his dad. But it was cool. If you've never been to a basketball game, I've been to a in-season game with the Mavericks in Dallas, and then I just went to this game. See ya. You know, I do want to point out too, it's very loud in there. I know I'm speaking about like I'm sounding old, but like while they're on the court, it's like dun 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 dun. I can't concentrate, and I'm watching this game. I can't imagine what it's like being on the court. What was I going to say? I was going to say something else, too, about the game. It was a great game. Oh, so it was a Lakers, like a home game. Like, the Lakers were the home team. And, of course, you know, Las Vegas is like L.A. to the east. A lot of Laker fans. A lot of Laker fans there. I think it was like me, the dude in front of me, and then the other kid next to me. We were like the only Mavericks fan there. It was funny too, because when I was sitting there, and I'm gonna not use the best term for this, and you know, those like, it was the two typical like, you know, those like East LA like cholos with the bald hair and the socks that goes up. They were sitting right in front of me, and they had like head tattoos and everything, and they were all downed out in the Laker gear. And like, if you look at them, you would think, oh, you know, typical, you know, Los Angeles cholos. I don't know if that's a slur. If I'm not, I apologize. Or if it is, I apologize. But then like, they were calling their friend who was like across the arena and like, oh, hi buddy, nice to see you. I was like, that's adorable. We'll have our NBA predictions coming up when the season starts. I can already tell you, locked up right now, Cooper Flag, Rookie of the Year. That's my dude. He is the future of the Mavericks. I do want to go over, let's see, we went over wrestling, SmackDown, WrestleDream, Andrade, MMA, MLB. You know, go Seattle. I still have them winning the World Series. NFL. Sunday we'll have the updates. Monday we'll be back on with the Bratwurst of the week. I don't have any nominees yet, so hopefully somebody messes up in the next 2 days, so I can have a winner, because the first week was the Colts rookie who fumbled or let it go. Then it was Hollywood Haley J, and then of course it was the Jets. Jets might win again if they lose like they do always. But that's it for the show. Child LGBT. Anything else you want to talk about? No? Okay. So yeah, go take Penny's poll. Should the tush push be banned? I don't think it should. It's a play. If it works so well for the Eagles, why doesn't other teams do it? But it is the first ever Braturday edition of Brat Said That. Thank you all. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything this week. NFL, NBA, the Icy Hot Bowl. No. So, hey, tonight, next week, or we got football tomorrow. I got the UNLV game. Let's go the score check. Oh, 10-14, Boise State. Hey, Boise State's pretty cool. They got their it's a blue field. But other than that, thanks for watching. I'm loving this. Follow me on Twitter. I have over 100 followers. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but I just started the Twitter 2 weeks ago. And like I said, John Cena's following my account. So if you're not, why aren't you? Go do it right now. I'll wait. Have you done it yet? Okay. Instagram, Rat Jackson. The O in Jackson 0. YouTube, Rat Jackson. I'll be uploading all these videos. I wanted to do a Where Brat at the game, but due to some privacy issues, I decided against it. And plus, I'm still a little shy when it comes to filming in public. I've never been able to do that, even when it's like wrestling promos from our days in wrestling. I do want to give a shout out to the guys from SWA. 20 years ago, on the 16th of October, I had my first backyard match. That led to an insane life, to be honest. I love those guys. There's still some people I would just give anything for. So shout out to them. Jerry, Joe Storm, Showtime, Leon, RTK, CTK, Bull, Cash, Big Fred. Even the ones that I never got along with, like Double J, Hardcore, Rob Callahan. I did get along with him. Just everybody who was just there. And SWA is still going strong. If you're in the Long Island area, on Long Island, go check them out. They have shows like 4 or 5 times a year. Always entertaining. Some of the best people I've ever met. And that's it for the show. I got to get ready for work. Dude. So, thank you for coming. Sip a drink for you. We'll be back Monday, same time, 1 o'clock. And as always, remember, sports.